students. Today we are going to see class 10 chemical equations and reactions in text and book back questions with answer. I have already posted 3 videos in this chapter. You can check the link in the description box for the videos, and also you can access my website to get the free PDFs of all these questions and answers. So now let us go into the video. Name the substance X and write its formula. So here the substance they have given for whitewashing, it is calcium oxide, and its chemical formula it is CaO. Next question, reaction of calcium oxide with water. When calcium oxide it reacts with water, it forms calcium hydroxide. In common name we called it as a slaked lime, and it was also a heat releasing one. So when a equation it indicates heat, it means that it is an exothermic reaction. Okay, so the solution reacts with carbon dioxide in the air to form a shiny white coating of the calcium carbonate on the wall. So this makes our building so bright. Next, why is the amount of gas collected in one of the test tubes in the activity 1.7 double the amount collected in the other? Name the gas. So we have already seen a detailed answer for this in my previous video, activity video. Please check in the description box. So here in activity 1.7, it is electrolysis of water. Water decomposes into hydrogen and oxygen gases. The volume of the hydrogen is double that of the oxygen gas because water molecule has 2 molecules of hydrogen and 1 molecules of oxygen. So the gas here involved it is hydrogen gas. Okay, next, why should a magnesium ribbon be cleaned before burning in air? So already magnesium will be reacting with the atmospheric oxygen, so it will be formed a layer of magnesium oxide. So in order to remove that, we are cleaning it to burn efficiently the magnesium and forms the white ash, the magnesium oxide. Okay, next, balance the chemical equation. Hydrogen plus chlorine giving hydrogen chloride. So here there is 2 molecules of hydrogen and 2 molecules of chlorine. So we are balancing it to as 2 molecules of hydrogen chloride. Next, barium chloride plus aluminium sulfate gives barium sulfate and aluminium chloride. So in order to see the step by step, I will post a shorts video regarding this. You can check it out. Okay, BaCl2 it is barium chloride, Al2SO4 thrice barium sulfate plus AlCl3. So here it is 3 molecules of barium and here also 3 and 2 molecules of aluminium. So we are balancing it. Next, sodium Na plus water giving NaOH plus hydrogen. So Na. So here it is 4 molecules of hydrogen. So in order to balance that, we are placing 2 here. So this becomes sodium also becomes 2. So we are placing another 2 here. So the equation will be balanced. Next, balance the chemical equations with the state symbols. State symbols are nothing but the salt. We are mentioning it in the bracket, right? The liquids at aqueous and solid as S, and for gas it is G. So first equation here it is barium chloride BaCl2 plus sodium sulfate giving BaSO4 plus 2 molecules of NaCl. And here next one it is sodium hydroxide plus hydrochloric acid giving sodium chloride plus water. So this is a self-balanced equation, nothing to balance here. Next, why does the color of the copper sulfate solution change when an iron nail is dipped in it? We know that iron is more reactive than copper, so it is displacing the copper. So the equation here it is iron plus copper sulfate giving iron sulfate, that is ferrous sulfate plus copper. So the copper gets deposited on the iron nail and it forms the reddish brown layer, and the blue color of the copper sulfate it slowly fades away due to the formation of the ferrous sulfate. Next, give an example for a double displacement reaction other than the one given in the activity 1.10. So we can take this example, sodium carbonate plus calcium chloride giving calcium carbonate plus 2 molecules of sodium chloride. So here the precipitate formed here it is calcium carbonate. So this is a white precipitate formed here, and this is an example for a double displacement reaction. Next, identify the substances that are oxidized and reduced. So here sodium becoming sodium oxide. oxygen, it is oxidized to ion, reduced to oxide ion. So here sodium, it is gains an oxygen and it forms the sodium oxide, and oxygen, it is reduced to an oxide ion. Next, copper oxide plus hydrogen giving copper plus water. Hydrogen, so here hydrogen, it gains an oxygen and forms the water molecule, and copper oxide, it is reduced to copper. Okay. Next, book back questions. Which of the following statements about the reactions below are incorrect? So first let us see the reaction. PbO, that is lead oxide, plus carbon becoming lead and carbon dioxide. So this one is giving out the oxygen and this one is gaining oxygen. So the first option here, it is lead getting reduced. It is a correct statement because oxygen is given out. Next, carbon dioxide is getting oxidized. No, this is an incorrect statement because carbon dioxide, it is the product form here. Okay. Next, carbon is getting oxidized. It is also a correct statement because carbon gains an oxygen and it forms the carbon dioxide. Next, lead oxide is getting reduced. Yes, lead oxide, it is reduced to become a lead. So since both the A and B options are, only the B option is correct and we have no other options here, we are going with the first one. This will become the answer. Next, FeO3 plus aluminium giving aluminium oxide plus iron. So what is this example? It is an example for a displacement reaction. See here, the iron is displaced by aluminium. Next, what happens when dilute hydrochloric acid is added to the iron fillings? So iron plus hydrogen chloride, it forms the iron chloride plus hydrogen gas. So the first option, hydrogen gas and iron chlorides are produced. It is the correct answer. Next, what is a balanced chemical equation and why should a chemical equation should be balanced? A balanced equation, it is nothing but equal number of atoms of each element on both the sides of reaction. That is both on the reactant side as well as the product side. The number of atoms should be same. So why we should have a chemical equations that should be balanced? Because it should obey the law of conservation of mass. What is law of conservation of mass? The mass can neither be created nor be destroyed in a chemical reaction. So here I have given two examples for an unbalanced and balanced. H2 plus O2 giving water. So when we are balancing this, it becomes 2H2 plus O2 becoming 2 molecules of water. Next, translate the following statements into the chemical equations and then balance them. Hydrogen gas combining with nitrogen. So N2 plus 3 molecules of hydrogen giving 2NH3. This is ammonia. Next, hydrogen sulfide. The formula, it is H2S. Burns in air, that is oxygen. It forms water and sulfur dioxide, that is SO2. Okay. Next, translate the following statements into the chemical equations and balance them. Barium chloride, BaCl2. Aluminium sulfate, Al2SO4 thrice becoming aluminium chloride plus barium sulfate. Potassium metal, 2K plus water, 2 molecules of water giving potassium hydroxide, KOH plus hydrogen gas. Next, balancing the chemical equations. I will show you the step by step how to balance the chemical equations in the upcoming shorts video. So it will be very useful. Now you no need to be panic. I don't know. So here nitric acid plus calcium hydroxide becoming calcium nitrate and water. So first we have to check out how many molecules of hydrogen here. So here it is 1, here it is 2 and here it is only 2. So in order to balance this, we are placing 2 molecules of nitric acid and calcium hydroxide here and all nothing, and here for water molecule alone we are placing 2. Okay. Similarly for sodium hydroxide plus sulfuric acid giving sodium sulfate plus water. Here also in here 1, 2 and here 1, 2. I will show all these ones in my next shorts video. Please don't be panic. Okay. Sodium chloride plus AgNO3 giving AgCl plus NO3 sodium nitrate. So it is a self-balanced equation. Next, barium chloride plus hydrogen sulfate becoming barium sulfate and hydrogen chloride. So here also we are adding only 2 molecules here. Others are all balanced. Next, write the balanced chemical equation. Calcium hydroxide, that is CaOH twice plus carbon dioxide giving calcium carbonate CaCO3 plus water. Zinc plus silver nitrate Z10 plus AgNO3 giving Z10NO3 twice plus Ag. Next, write the balanced chemical equation for the following. Aluminium, that is 2Al, copper chloride CuCl2 becoming aluminium chloride AlCl3 plus copper Cu. Barium chloride BaCl2, potassium sulfate K2SO4, barium sulfate BaSO4 and potassium chloride 2KCl. Next, write the balanced equation and identify the type of reaction. So here potassium bromide, it is KBr plus barium iodide BaI2, potassium iodide Ki plus BaBr2. Here two ions are interchanging, so this is an example for a double displacement reaction. Next, zinc carbonate becoming zinc oxide and carbon dioxide. So here a single compound, it is breaking down into 2 compounds. So this is an example for a decomposition reaction. Next, hydrogen plus chlorine forming hydrogen chloride. This is an example for a combination reaction where the 2 compounds join to form a single compound. And here magnesium plus hydrogen chloride forming magnesium chloride plus hydrogen. So here it is a single displacement reaction. Next, what does one mean by exothermic and endothermic reaction? We already know that exothermic reactions are the ones that releases the heat, and endothermic reactions are the one that absorbs the heat. So here I have given an example, carbon plus oxygen forming carbon dioxide and heat, and for endothermic reaction it is calcium carbonate. When absorbing the heat, it breaks down into calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide. I have given 4 points for this in my previous video. Please do check out there. Next, why is respiration considered as an exothermic reaction? Because here the glucose, when reacting with oxygen, it releases the heat by breaking down the glucose into carbon dioxide and water molecules. Okay, so C6H12O6, it is the formula for glucose. On reacting with oxygen, it forms the carbon dioxide and water, forming the energy. Why are the decomposition reactions called as the opposite for the combination reactions? We know that in a decomposition reaction, a single compound, it is broken down into 2 or more compounds, and in a combination reaction, 2 compounds bound to form a single compound. So this is the basic difference between, and for example, decomposition reaction, we can take the water. 2 molecules of water forming 2 molecules of hydrogen and oxygen, and for combination reaction, the reverse of this, 2 molecules of hydrogen plus oxygen forming 2 molecules of water. Next, write one equation for each of the decomposition reaction where energy is supplied in the form of heat, light or electricity. So for heat, we know the example as calcium carbonate. On applying heat, it becomes calcium oxide and carbon dioxide, and AgCl. This is used in the white photography, black and white photography. Silver chloride, it is broken down into silver and chlorine in the presence of sunlight. And for electricity, we know the electrolysis of water, that is 2 molecules of hydrogen, water molecule, it is broken down into hydrogen and oxygen. Next, what is the difference between the displacement and a double displacement reaction? So for a displacement reaction, a single compound, that is the more reactive, less reactive elements are replaced by the more reactive element, and in double displacement reaction, there are exchange of 2 ions takes place. So here the example will be zinc plus copper sulfate forming zinc sulfate and copper, and for double displacement reaction, it is sodium sulfate plus barium chloride forming barium sulfate plus 2NaCl. Okay. Next, in the refining of the silver, the recovery of the silver from the silver nitrate solution involves displacement by copper metal. So here they have given the statement, we are going to write the reaction alone. Copper plus AgNO3 gives copper nitrate plus 2Ag. Next, what do you mean by the precipitation reaction? A precipitation reaction is nothing but the type of a double displacement reaction where an insoluble solid, the precipitate, it is formed. So here they have given an example as barium chloride plus sodium sulfate forming barium sulfate and 2NaCl. This downward arrow always indicates that it is a precipitation reaction. Next, explain the following in terms of the gain or loss of the oxygen with the 2 examples each. So for oxidation, it is gain of oxygen by a substance. So for that example, it is Mg plus O2 forming MgO, that is magnesium oxide, carbon plus oxygen forming carbon dioxide. And for reduction, loss of oxygen by a substance, copper oxide plus hydrogen forming copper and water. So here the copper oxide is reduced to copper and water hydrogen is oxidized to form water. Copper zinc oxide is reduced to zinc and carbon is oxidized to form carbon monoxide. A shiny brown colored substance X on heating in the air becomes black in color. Name the element X and the black colored compound form. So the element X here it is copper. On the black colored compound formed it is copper 2 oxide, that is CuO. On the reaction it is 2 molecules of copper plus oxygen forming 2 molecules of copper oxide. Oils and fat containing food items are flushed with nitrogen. Why? So in order to reduce the oxidation of fats and oils and to prevent the rancidity, the chips companies, they are flushing their packets with the nitrogen. Why do we apply paints on the iron articles? In order to prevent the rusting of the iron and to protect it from the moisture and air. So this will lead to the corrosion formation. So in order to prevent this, we are painting the iron articles with paint. Next, explain the terms with 1 example each. So for corrosion, the definition, it is the slow conversion of the metal into a undecidable compound due to the reaction with moisture, air or chemicals. So here iron reacts with water and oxygen to form the rust, that is ferric oxide plus X molecules of water. Next, rancidity, it is the spoilage of the oils or fats due to the oxidation causing a foul smell and taste. So the chips companies, they are flushing the packets with the nitrogen in order to prevent this rancidity. Okay. So that's all about this video. We have covered all the in-text and bookback questions with answers. So you can get the access of this free PDF in my websites. Please do like and share with your friends. Thank you.